Somebody in there? Whoa. Hello. I'm John Carbonell, your favorite freestyle ski coach. Today, I'm gonna try to be a yoga instructor. I'm a certified ski coach. I'm not a certified yoga instructor. This is my own personal routine that I've put together. I like to use it as a warm-up before I go out for the day or cool down after a long day of skiing bumps and sending it off those big old park jumps. You can follow along at your own pace, modify any of the stretches as needed, and remember, most importantly, if it's painful, you should stop. Let's begin. Namaste. We'll start with our hands at heart, our feet shoulder width apart, eyes closed, and all we have to do is breathe. Inhaling through the nose, deeply down into the stomach, and reversing the process as we exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, feeling the air fill our entire chest cavity, all the way down to the navel. Once again, reversing that process, pushing up from the stomach as we allow the air to expand out through our mouth. One more breath in. And out. As we begin, we will reach our hands into the sky, reaching and stretching through our entire body, and slightly bending our knees. We'll begin to bend at the waist, bringing our hands and our eyes to the ground. Oh, gently reaching for the floor, not stressing, not straining. As we inhale and come up to flat back, we relax as we exhale and dive down into the stretch. Inhale to flat back, exhale into the stretch. Knees remaining ever so slightly bent. We will bend our knees, bringing our hands to the front of the mat, stepping our feet back and entering into a plank position. From here, we will enter into Cobra. As we lower our body, roll our toes forward, lift the head, relax our elbows. Remember to breathe, relax your abdomen, and we will slowly lower out of Cobra as we roll our toes back up, pushing up into a downward dog position. Take a second to settle. We'll spread our fingers, keeping our connection to the floor strong. Our heels will get pushed to the floor, our hips to the sky. Once again, do not forget to breathe. It's the most important thing in life. Feel free to bend those knees. Relax a little and work your way into the stretch. From this position, we will roll our shoulders forward, entering back into a plank, lowering our knees to the floor, we'll relax our feet, and we'll settle in a tabletop position as we lift our hips and head to the sky, curling our back. Still breathing, reversing the process into the angry cat position, adjusting ourselves if we need, and arching those shoulder blades up to the sky. We'll sit back onto our feet, keeping our hands planted, allowing our shoulders to roll down. Elbows come to the mat with the head. We'll stay here for a breath. As we lift ourselves back up into a tabletop position, roll our toes, and enter back into a downward dog. Heels to the floor, hips to the sky, strong through our shoulders. We'll relax, allowing our knees to bend, stepping our right foot forward, followed by our left. Keeping our knees bent, we will slowly roll back up to standing. Bring our hands to our heart. Take a second to adjust ourselves. Reset. And breathe. We will go through 5 sets of these. Beginning a second now, we will lift our hands once again, bending our knees ever so slightly as we roll forward, keeping our vision with our hands as it comes to the floor. As we inhale, we will raise our back up to flat. Exhale and dive into the stretch. Inhale, we come to flat back. Exhale, we dive into the stretch. We'll bend our knees, step our hands to the front of the mat. Feet go back as we enter into plank position. From here, we will lower ourselves, slowly rolling those toes forward, entering into cobra as we look up. Relax those elbows, relax that core, and breathe. Slowly lowering out of cobra, we'll roll those toes back up as we push our hips to the sky. Keep our arms strong and settle into a downward dog. Remember to keep those heels pushing towards the floor. Keep those hands planted firmly. Each one of these series will begin to slightly vary as we try to keep it interesting. We're going to roll forward back into a plank position as we lift our right leg, bringing our knee to the center of the space between our two hands. As we lower our chest to our leg, we will push our left, toes back. Feeling that stretch in our right glute and our right hamstring. As we reach forward, glue our hands to the floor, and once again push back through that left foot. Remembering to breathe as we hold this position. We'll bring our hands back beside our knee. We slowly rise and look up to the sky. We will hold here for a breath. So we bring our head down, our toe comes up. We step back into a plank and roll back into a downward dog. Adjusting our feet and hands as needed to get into the proper position. Staying strong through those shoulders, pushing the hips to the sky and the heels to the floor. This time we'll step forward with our left foot. Right foot follows. Keeping the knees bent, we will slowly roll back up to standing. Taking a second to adjust and settle, and then we will breathe. Yoga is about movement and flow. You do not always need to be static. Feel free to bend those knees a little, move those hips. We'll reach into the sky as we begin our third sun salutation. Separating those hands, bending the knees slightly and keeping our vision in line with our palms. We'll come to the floor. rising up slightly as we inhale, diving into the stretch as we exhale. Reaching forward to the front of the mat. We'll step backwards into a plank position, lowering ourselves once again into cobra as those toes roll forward, head comes to the sky. Remember to relax those abs. If you don't, you can't breathe. We're gonna lower slowly down, back down. Toes come up as we roll backwards into downward dog. I like to envision pushing my chest to my knees and remembering to keep those heels to the floor. The heels do not need to be touching the floor. We simply push them to the floor. If you are that flexible, by all means, get your heels that low. I don't know a lot of people that can do that though. As we roll forward into a plank position, we will bring the left knee forward, placed between the hands this time, pushing those right toes to the back of the mat as we lower down, feeling the stretch in our glute and hamstring of our left thigh as we reach forward. Stretching those arms, we glue our hands to the floor and push back through that right foot. After a breath or two, we'll bring our hands back as we look up to the sky, once again pushing back through those right toes, reaching for the back of that mat. If you do not have a mat, just picture a little square drawn around you. Rectangle, excuse me. We will lower our vision as we step back into plank, pushing backwards into downward dog, settling our hands and feet as needed. We'll hold this stretch for one breath, bending our knees and stepping forward with our right leg, then our left. Knees stay bent as we roll slowly back up to standing. That completes our third set. We settle in, and once again we breathe. To our final two sets, we have one left and one right and one left legs. We will bring our hands to the sky, stretching tall, reaching through our entire body as we bend the knees slightly and come to the floor. Coming up to flat back as we inhale, exhaling into the stretch. I typically stay here for 2 to 3 breaths before moving into my plank position, as we will do now. Stepping back, bending the elbows and rolling the toes forward to come into cobra. Elbows stay relaxed. Slowly lowering ourselves down, pushing up into downward dog. I'm gonna step into this one a little bit because I'm really feeling flexible. The closer our hands and feet come together and the higher we can push our hips, the more we will feel this stretch. Remembering to breathe. This time, we will bring our right knee forward but not place it to the mat as we roll into a plank. We will bring it up to the sky, pushing our right heel to the sky, left heel to the floor. We will hold for a breath. Feel free to stay in downward dog if you feel this is beyond you. Feel free to hold this position if you'd like to take it one step further. Roll our shoulders forward. Bring that right heel across the left side of the body and try to touch that left shoulder. We'll relax, roll on that right leg forward, bringing that knee down. Left foot goes to the back of the mat. We'll reach those hands forward and just let those shoulders drop. They've earned a break. We'll hold here and just breathe. Remember to keep that pressure towards the back of the mat through our left leg. We will now stretch our hands, glue them to the floor, and really pull into the shoulder. You should start to feel this through your back muscles, through your triceps. This should feel great on your shoulders at this point. We'll relax, bringing our hand back beside our knee. We'll look up to the ceiling. Instead of stepping directly out of this pose, we'll roll forward, dropping our right elbow directly in front of our right knee. Our head turns to the left. Our left hand gets placed directly behind our right foot, and our head drops to our right hand. You should feel this really roll the stretch around the outside of your leg. And really feel it pull down almost the entirety of your glute. As we remember to breathe, we will start to bring our head towards our right foot, our left foot as well, I guess. Really dive into that stretch. You don't need to overdo this. A little goes a long way. We will slowly relax out of that as we curl back up to our sitting position. Vision looking straight forward. Shoulders relaxed. We'll sit here for a breath. Rolling our toe up. We'll step backwards into downward dog. Finding our nice position to settle in. We will hold for a breath as we step forward with the left leg, followed by the right knees stay bent as we slowly roll to standing. If you made it through that whole entire sequence right there, you should be a little proud of yourself. A little pat on the back. But we got one more to do. And breathe in as we reach to the sky, stretching through our entire body, and exhale as we come down. Vision staying with our hands. We reach to the floor. You should be able to get a little bit lower each time we do this. Reach forward, step back, come into our plank position as we lower, roll forward, come up into cobra. Remember not to lock out our elbows. We will slowly lower down, toes roll up, hips to the sky, heels to the floor. We roll our shoulders forward, bring our left knee forward, but not to the mat this time. Then bringing our left heel to the sky and pushing that right heel back down to the floor. We'll hold for a breath. Once again, if you just want to remain in downward dog through this, it's totally fine. If you feel you need to put your foot down and go back into downward dog at any point, that is fine. So we roll our shoulders forward. We can bring our heel, our right heel, up when we bring the left heel across the body. And then swing the left leg through, bringing ourselves down to the mat, giving those shoulders a well-deserved break. Remembering to push those right toes back through the mat. We will reach forward, glue our hands to the earth, and really pull into this one as we stretch the right toe towards the back of the mat. Once again, really feeling this down the outsides of the back, through the triceps, even in the forearms a little. We'll relax the arms, bring them back to center. So we roll up and look towards the sky. Holding here for 1 second before bringing our left elbow in front of our left knee, our right hand behind our left foot, pushing those right toes to the back of the mat as our head comes to our left hand. Remembering to breathe. Once again, you should really feel this stretch all the way through the glute. You should really roll down the whole outside of your left leg. As we bring our head a little closer to that left foot. We will slowly relax, slowly curling out of the stretch, bringing our hands back to center. Vision straight forward. We'll step back into downward dog for the final time. Really push those heels to the floor. You should feel this stretch all the way from your calves to your lower back. I should say ankles to lower back. Stepping our right leg forward, keeping the knees bent as we slowly roll up. Come to standing. We'll settle. We'll breathe. Well done. You made it through. Now comes the easy part. Let's take a seat. Cross our legs. Placing our hands on our knees, we will spend 30 seconds. Finding really any position that is comfortable. Breathing. And just enjoying the moment. Being proud of the hard work we just accomplished. And feeling good about it. Thank you. Once again, I'm John Carbonell, your favorite freestyle ski coach. See you guys next time.